right. Welcome to Two Ordinary Nerds.
The podcast where we discuss everything nerdy.
And we're going to talk about your relationship problems today. Give us a call. Okay, actually,
1-800.
You can't do that because this comes out after, but still, yeah.
You can email us.
1-800 twoordinarynerds@gmail.com.
What are you? You sound like you're crazy, or are you going to a psychologist?
I am going to a psychologist. I feel like I have a lot of people in my mind.
Oh, so we're going to talk about Legion.
We are going to talk about a legion of problems.
Aww.
So, what
How are you doing today?
I'm not bad. What are you drinking on? What did you give us
Today I thought we'd try something different. Something we normally don't do for Legion. It's called Not Your Father's Vanilla Cream Ale. It's a vanilla cream alcohol beverage. And, I don't know. Let's give it a swing. Cheers. It's sweet. It tastes... I like it. You did not like it at all.
That's the sound of my other beer opening. I would just gonna go ahead and give that beer a 1.
It's not a beer. It's a cream ale.
Not my. I don't like. It's too sweet for me.
Yeah, it's like a pop with alcohol. That's pretty much it.
Well, and I'm not a huge fan of cream soda at all.
Well, if you well, there you go. It's a cream soda with alcohol. But
make sure you bring your toothpaste.
Yeah, I'll give it a good 2.5 cream sodas. All right, so we're gonna talk about Legion, the new FX show that came out a couple weeks ago already. We were waiting to see if it's gonna give you more than one episode, just because the first couple episodes are just too crazy, too weird to give you an actual review. But now that it's been, I think, 5 or 6 or 7.
6 was last week. I haven't seen 6, but I have seen up to 5.
So 6 episodes is good. So let's go to the psychologist and
lose our mind.
Lose our mind.
Mother to the flame!
Alright, Lady Gaga, calm down.
Like, Mother to the flame! Yeah, so Legion's pretty cool.
I like it. The first couple episodes, power through them. It will be worth it. It's one of those, I think, episodes that when you go back, there's gonna be so many Easter eggs and so much things that you didn't catch in the first time just because it's so fucking weird. But it's good.
There's this character in there that I really like. I can't think of his name, but he walks around with a baseball bat named Lucille. Oh shit, that's the wrong show. Mm-hmm. Damn it. No, I thoroughly enjoy this show. The characters...
Yeah, Dan Stevens that plays Legion.
Also...
Aubrey Plaza does a good job of going crazy to normal.
Aubrey Plaza is probably the best part of that show, I think.
I'm not
really
fond of Rachel Keller. The
girlfriend?
Yeah.
Yeah, she's a little weird.
I'm not sure it's because she's a little bit weird in the show and she does a good job that it makes me feel uncomfortable because how weird she is. Mm-hmm. But it's I do enjoy. My favorite so far is Aubrey Plaza. She steals the show.
Oh yeah, she's just so... She does the crazy part so good. Dan Stevens does an amazing job as acting like a lunatic. Mm-hmm. But I really do think Audrey does a really good job.
So, before we start with more spoilers, Legion, who's Dave, his real name is David. He's the son of Charles Xavier, and who's Professor X, and he basically has identity disorder or multiple personality disorder.
Schizophrenia.
So, basically, each of his personalities has a different power, and he can use all those powers, interchanging his like personalities. So one personality could be telekinetic, another personality. I'm not sure how the show is going to do it so far because they haven't indulged too much in his powers. But he's technically one of the most powerful mutants out there. There is a great comic series. It's called Legion, and it talks about that, of how he interchanges personalities and how he takes control of his personalities. Some are more aggressive, some are more passive. So,
do you feel like he's getting through this we're not getting into spoilers yet, but do you think he's more so starting to be able to control them?
I don't think so. I think the show's gonna end with the big boom that a lot of the people that we think they're real are gonna be his personalities, and all those people are gonna have powers. I think that's gonna be the first season ending. Will be that. I think season ending 2 will be he's taking control of his powers, being able, and then if there's a season 3, we'll see.
Yeah, it's already been picked up for season 2.
But I think that will be the second 2 is him learning how to control them, and maybe one of those personalities may be the main villain. But
also, go check Dan Stevens out in a movie we like to call Beauty and the Beast. He does a fantastic job as Beast. Really good job.
We will talk about that in the almost at the end of the show.
Almost at the end.
But
not the end.
Now, you've seen more episodes than me. I think I'm 1 or 2 behind. Give us a little synopsis of what's going on in the show.
Well, the show starts out with Dan what's his name in the show?
Sorry.
Dan Stevens is the actor. We'll just go with Dan. He's in the...
Who, David?
Is that his name? David? Yeah. David is in a psychiatric ward. He was put there by his sister because his sister couldn't handle him because he kind of went crazy. He was also a drug addict. As the show progresses, you come to find out that he is more so
gay.
No, but he's actually bi. But he
goes bi.
He's actually not schizophrenic. It's just the way his mutation is he has these personalities are actually his mutation, but he's been brought up with the idea that he is sick. Therefore, in his mind, he feels that he's schizophrenic. And as it progresses, I feel that he's starting to accept who he is and accept his powers versus being schizophrenic. Because in the beginning, with the people that save him from the psychiatric ward, he's like, oh my god, I don't know what I'm doing, I don't know what's going on, I don't have these powers, I don't have this, I'm just crazy, this stuff just happens around me. And by the end of episode 4, he's just like, I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I mean, it's oh, and also, if you guys like A Clockwork Orange, you would love this show. This show is just psychedelic as shit. I mean, most of the show, if anybody's seen I can't think of the showrunner, the guy who makes it, his name's Brian Fuller. Brian Fuller has made the Fargo series that's on FX also. He's very, very good, and if you've seen the Fargo series, it's kind of wacky and out there. Well, this takes it to the next level. This show is very weird. So, what do you think?
I like it.
I enjoyed it. The couple of first episodes, I was very...
it was like a Westworld. Like, you can't tell if you're gonna like it or not for the first episode. You will know if you like it by the fourth.
In the third, you will still be intrigued, and you're starting to get more and more of the idea, but the fourth episode sets what I think the show is going to be about.
The fourth one is the fourth one I'm thinking about
fourth or fifth,
where he saves his sister.
I think so.
Where he kills all the people in the psychiatric ward, or all the bad guys.
I think it's the fourth. It's the fourth or the fifth, but it's
that's so fucked up, man. It looks like Halloween decor is how you can get for your yard zombies that hang out, look like they're crawling from the ground. It looks like he did that, but melted these people into the concrete. So they're like this. He's like...
So, yeah, I think it's the fourth or fifth episode. You're going to like it. And now we're going to, I think, go to the subconscious spoiler area. So if you don't want to know more, just hit us back later when you once saw the episodes. My theory of this show is that most of the people who are already in the show are going to be fake. Are going to be in his imagination.
You really think so?
You know how he escapes the mental first time? I think that's one of his personalities that does that. And I think the water represents the subconscious, him going to the subconscious, and then his other persona comes in. And because in one of his powers in the comics, it's fire. He's pyrotechnic.
Okay.
And in that, when he escapes, all of them look like they've been charged to the bone. That's the first one. The second one is Telekinetic, who's Legion, but I think Legion.
Yeah.
I think most of them are.
That's the telekinetic guy that's in there. You know, the one that keeps flinging doors and flinging people off.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the props I like about this show, and compared to the X-Men movies, is that they actually show people that have crazy mutations where he just picks someone up and just flings them off like a mile away. I was like, oh, that is cool as shit.
Mm-hmm. So I think that's gonna be the main thing. The finale is gonna be him.
I think
realizing that.
I think in episode 3, or was it 3 when they went after? Yeah, no, it was episode 4 when they're going to the loony bin where he goes and kills everyone. They're going after him, and then the doctor that has his other person that lives in him, he was there in his doctor's office, and he was either playing a recording of David. He was in there, he's like, hello, I'm still in here, this is really weird, why am I in here? I'm like, so back then they didn't have, he didn't record it, he was just, how he could keep an eye on him when he was in the machine. So then, that could make really good sense that, all this is fake, and it's all in his head. It's all in my head.
I think the psych ward is his mind. And that's how his mind keeps everybody compact in one place.
Who's the Blob?
What?
The Blob, the evil being.
I'm not sure exactly who he is, but I know he's one of his personas. Like, his personas can be good, evil, neutral. So, and they all want to be in control because. So, that's the thing. It's who's really Legion, because Legion is a legion of people. So it's all. I think most of them there. I'm not completely sure about the girlfriend, but I wouldn't be surprised if she also is. And I think it's gonna be like a blow your mind out when people who don't know the comics realize, oh my god, because they haven't talked about it at all.
Yeah.
So when they're gonna be, oh my god, and then I guess that being like season 1 and season 2, him switching personas and just being like walking and telekinetic and blah, and switching to another persona on fire, and that's gonna be the hard part as an actor. It's like we were talking about what's the movie, the multiple persona disorder? Split. That how he has to change, and you have to notice that change immediately.
Etc.
And I think if this actor, what's his name, Dan Stevens is able to do it, it will make this show great.
It's funny I've been watching a lot of interviews of his because obviously with Beauty and the Beast coming out, and he's completely different, from being used to seeing David in the show where he's just fucking weird and bouncy and just kind of like this crazy 20-year-old, and then you go. And he's like in these interviews, he's like, yes, I did this part, and
I'm the Beast.
Yeah, and he's just like he's suave. Like the dude is just cool, and he if you look at the interviews, like Luke Evans is more like ha ha, like bouncing around everywhere, and this guy's like, I'm not like that.
So I like it. I mean, I'm surprised on FX. It's been like the TV Marvel. It hasn't been as good as it could be, and this is showing that FX maybe should go in the TV route more than the movie route with the X-Men. Or
I see what you're saying. So you're saying the TV route, Legion is better than X-Men.
Yes, I'm just saying. Yes and no. I'm just saying that maybe they're doing this head on. And that's what I mean. Like maybe they should. Give the rights to the character, the Fantastic Four, or make the Fantastic Four into a TV series, but still give those rights.
Well, FX is Fox, so they own all that.
Yeah, so yes, give those, make a show on Fantastic Four dark as they wanted to do in the movies, but still make it possible, because I think comic book makes more sense in a series perspective, just because you have so much information. It's kind of hard to portray the Fantastic Four, that inner conflict of the Thing, the
with he's a hideous beast and blah 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 in just like an hour or so. It's you have to be able to give that time to.
I think that's why I like the Netflix series, is because they're actually like Legion. They're just it's a show because there's so much continuity, like you said, that needs to go into this. And you watch an Avengers movie that's 2.5 hours long, and it's a good movie, but you're like, man, it would be cool if this was if this was a show. That's why I think that's why I like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so much, is because there are a lot of episodes in that show where you're like, okay, this doesn't need to be in here. But if that show was 13 episodes like Netflix shows, it probably would be a lot better.
But I think we also forget that the Avengers you had was 3 Iron Man, 1 Thor, 1 Captain America, 2 Thor.
Third Thor is coming out.
But I mean, I'm saying you're doing it. You're giving it continuity, but you cannot. Fox does it with X-Men because it has that continuity. But if you jump on a Fantastic Four, or you get another Spider-Man again, you're starting again, and it's. A movie has to be the inner conflict, or Spider-Man, Peter Parker doesn't want to be Spider-Man, wants to be Peter Parker, and then the next episode. So you cannot have the inner conflict of Peter Parker, the inner conflict, imagine, of the Lizard, and the inner conflict of of Harry Osborn in one movie, because then you'll be stuck there for 8 hours. Then that's what a normal show would take.
Are you talking about? I thought you were talking about Spider-Man.
But yeah, Spider-Man. But I'm saying. Like different, like if you have 3 Spider-Mans in your head, and then you put another, and then you do an Avengers, you don't need to talk about Spider-Man, or you don't need to talk about this thing. You just have to talk about the new villain, the new this is what's going on. Same with like shows like Legion, you can spend 5 episodes just in one character, and then 2 or 3 in the psych,
I really like Legion because it's different. It has no continuity to anything we've seen yet. They got ballsy, kind of like when they got ballsy with Taboo, and just kind of ran with it. And they both, just the show hit off. I mean, they just FX has a tendency to just choose shows that people probably wouldn't normally watch, but seem to be catchy. And because Legion has that twist of X-Men in there, it's still. I like it. I like it because it's completely different. It's nothing you see on TV nowadays.
Yeah, it's a weird fucking show. Like, I mean, it's weird. Like, if you don't like weird shows or overly complex shows where you need to pay attention to what's going on. I mean, I'm not saying you can't look at your phone once in a while, but you need to pay attention to it, to the show, to more or less get it, because it's one of those shows that if you loop out 10 minutes, it could be, you could lose something. It's one of those, Westworld's, Game of Thrones. It seems it's going to have a lot of lore into it, so you need to pay attention from the get-go, because you're going to be who's that? Who's this?
I'm worried about, because a lot of the shows that we watch are kind of coming to an end with Game of Thrones. And I'm like, man, I wonder what next, because I think about like 10 years ago, I didn't even watch TV that much because I just graduated high school. There wasn't really anything that really caught my eye of what to watch. And then finally I really, started getting into television. And that's when like Game of Thrones came out, and Walking Dead, and
the nerdiness. But I mean, that's the nerdy culture, and unfortunately one day it's gonna end. Something else gonna show up. Something more, the cool new thing will show up. But that's fine. I mean,
we'll roll with it.
Yeah, we got good shows.
Yep.
I mean, they're the CSIs and the 24s had their era. Now the nerdy shows had their era, and then whatever show comes after that is gonna. I mean, there's gonna be always bad TV and good TV. Same as the music. You're gonna have your bad.
Can't get rid of fucking reality TV. So that Taboo show ended. It was actually became pretty good.
It took a while.
Fucking weird. Did you finish it?
I'm still watching it, but I'm almost.
Oh, dude, the ending's real good. He's they're making a second season.
Oh no! It's when Batman shows up. He finds the mask.
Like, join me in 17th century. We're going to go to the Americas and meet the Native Americans.
Well, that's how he gets to America. Then he has to go to Gotham. It's a journey.
Batman, you were born in the night. I swam from it in England.
With my sister.
You lived in New York. I came here.
I'm older than Russia Gould.
Rosa Gould actually gave me the deed to your land.
But yeah.
So
I mean, Bravo to FX, Dale.
I would give Legion
So far, I give it a 4.
4. I don't want to give it. It's not not Westworld Game of Thrones.
But it hasn't ended, so
but
it could be. It could be.
It's definitely could get up there. I would say, yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot, and I'll go get a 4. Check the comics if you like the storyline. Let's support the comic books, because without these comics, there wouldn't be the shows.
Yep.
So.
Oh man! So Beauty and the Beast they could not have made it better.
I want you to guess. My biggest concern was the gate. No, was Chip. Is Chip and Mrs. Pop?
Did you see it?
No, I have seen pictures, and it looks fake and it looks crappy. Those two specifically. It looks like Chip has been somebody just put two stickers of the eyes and the mouth in it.
It looks so
does it look good?
Fucking good, dude.
Lumineer
looks really fucking good, and Ewan McGregor, who plays Obi-Wan Kenobi in the first 3.
Who's Obi-Wan Kenobi?
He is just fucking awesome as Lumineer. LeFou is amazing. When they had the Gaston song play, I choked up. I was like, oh my god. I mean, it just was like a funnel of my childhood hitting. And I'm just a huge fan of like the Disney male villain characters. Like I love Captain Hook. I love Gaston.
So what's the main difference between?
Nothing.
There's no change?
It is fucking the exact same movie, probably. I mean, some of the wording is different, like where he...
Doesn't Belle have... Isn't she the one that makes the experiments instead of her dad? Because she does the washing machine, I think, right? Doesn't they do like a washing machine?
Yeah, she does the washing machine. I think it's more so they both do it. Like Kevin Kline's character, which is her dad, he does the... he doesn't have the wood chopper in the show, so that's different. I was actually kind of excited to see that, how they were going to do that in the movie, but they didn't. Instead he made, it was like it's not like a cuckoo's clock, but the same mechanism as a cuckoo's clock, like something, a little tiny machine that kind of did something, and he was going to sell that in some city.
And is there a difference in the beginning? Like, did they explain the reason why this 11-year-old kid became a beast? Or
yeah, there is more in depth to it, because they do go in depth as to why Belle and her father are alone. I don't remember if that's in the cartoon version, but I don't think. But they actually show, like, they go to Paris.
Oh, really?
Yeah, the Beast has a map, and he can teleport her, and they teleport to Paris.
Can he always do that? Can he always do
I don't think so, but he teleports her there, and where she lived, because he's like, if you could think of one place you want to go there. And they both go to this windmill that's on the outskirts of Paris, and he's like, oh, and that's how they kind of connect, is because he's cultured, and that's what she wants, compared to Gaston that doesn't read or anything.
Why do people don't read? Did they see the way they don't read?
Well, I think there's people there in the town that do read. He just doesn't, because he's
but isn't it? She's the bookworm of the town.
Yeah, right? They think she's weird because she's a nerd.
Okay, that's good. Is it also like a girl power movie? Like it's
oh yeah, she's definitely. I mean, it has some strong empowerment in there, which is very good.
Yeah.
I mean, there were so many. It was so adorable. We were coming in to go see the movie, and all these little girls were dressed up as Belle, and I don't know. It was just really cool, because it's like, oh man, I grew up with this movie. I went and saw it in the theater, and then to see all these little girls and kids that are just as infatuated with this movie as I was.
But the moms and the dads would have to be the same thing, right?
Yeah, it's just so cool that this movie touches people still to this day.
Which one do you prefer better?
I like this one. I mean, I like the cartoon one too, but this, I mean, I agree with my girlfriend. I mean, I think this one is just, it's so fucking good, dude.
But is it so fucking good because the first one was so fucking good, so it's kind of hard to fuck it up? If you just
No,
follow, if you follow the same storyline, you follow the
If you
same
fall-
thing. You
yeah,
just,
but the actors, I mean, you have to have really good actors. You got to have a good director because, I mean, the musical were spot on from the
but
movie.
that's the other one. So you're giving the musical is the other show.
I agree, but it does take a good.
So what does this one do better? Because it can't be the music, because the music is this.
It's live action.
So just because it's live action, it makes it better.
It's just the actors are just it's real.
So that's why your taste is better if it's live action than if it's cartoon. So if it's the same story, same thing, if it's live action, it's normally better.
I'm super excited to see the Aladdin movie that they're about to start filming. I mean, I love Aladdin.
I'd rather see Mulan.
Mulan's going to come out, and they said that movie's not going to be a musical. They said that they're about to start filming, and they're not going to have any musical numbers in it.
No, I like the musical
But they
numbers.
really have what? Gonna make a man out of you.
I like Mulan.
I like that movie too.
And I like the one when they put in the makeup on and she takes it off.
That movie freaked me the fuck out, man. Like when they're
Mongolians?
yeah, dude. Goddamn Mongolians in my shitty whoa. South Park reference. That's so.
Before we go to Mulan, and I just want to go back. What's your so there's all this fuss about this one character in the movie that I'm not sure
Flu. That's different, I guess.
that he's gay, and people were in fight of it. Does Disney go out of this way to make it happen?
A kid wouldn't know that he's gay.
So it really isn't that much.
If you were an adult, you would tell. Like it was kind of a thing. Like how. I mean, if you're younger, when you're.
I guess I'll rephrase it. Like my concern is, I don't like when a movie goes out of this way just to point out that one character is homosexual. I feel it's natural. So if one of the actors, if one of the people are gay, I think it should be a natural way. It shouldn't be forced. Like camera. I'm like, oh, they're
no. They played into. If you watch the cartoon version, obviously you have, but the cartoon version, LeFleur is obsessed with Gaston. Well, in this one, they play into that where he's just like. Gaston's like, oh man, I wish I could find someone that loves me. And he's just like, I don't know who you're talking about. And he's just like acting like he's like, oh yeah, I don't know who you're talking about. And he puts his arm around him.
And what's his name again? I'm going to call him Olaf because he's Olaf.
Yeah, but LeFleur.
LeFleur.
Yeah, he's
in everywhere.
Yeah, he does a really, God, it's a good job. And you can tell, he, even as a, I mean, not as a kid, but watching that movie, in my early teens or as I grew up, you could tell, like, oh, that guy is definitely, he has a heart on for
but so they did it in an elegant, they did it in an elegant, good way to introduce this character.
Yeah, it's not like, for instance, like Walking Dead this week where they're like, where Jesus was like, oh, and boyfriends. Like, I don't like...
You
don't need to call it out.
Yeah, that's like... I want it to be natural. I want it to be like, I don't want it to...
I felt like that was pressured. Like, I feel like if they showed him with a boyfriend, that would have been more natural versus him saying, and boyfriends, and then Maggie smiling.
Yeah, but I feel...
Disney...
That's exactly it. Like,
it's...
Or the typical, like, oh, and they're like, there's this guy, and then he makes out with this guy, with other guy, run in front of the girl, and they're like,
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh.
No, they play into, and it's funny too because they add other quirks in there. Like after they do the Gaston song, he's just like in the cartoon. He's sitting on the arm of the chair that Gaston's in. It's like, oh, LeFleur, you're the best. Why is it that you can't get a girl? And he's playing with Gaston's hair, and he's like, I've been told I'm clingy. Oh, man, it's really good. And, yeah, it's funny, too, because... I'll hurry up here, but Sir Ian McKellen plays Codsworth, which is the clock, and he comes to life, and then... Because the curse, the townspeople don't remember about the castle, so they have no idea about these people. They come in and try to kill everyone that's in the castle or attack them, and they don't recognize these voices. They don't recognize the names, and then all of a sudden they come to life. The curse is lifted, and they're like, "Oh my god!" And so Sir Ian McKellen's wife or girlfriend comes in, and he's just like this grumpy old man, and she's like, "Oh my god!" he's just like, God damn it, can I go back to being a clock? He doesn't say God damn it, but he's just so grumpy. He's like, oh, can you just turn the time back? He does a really good job though.
So how many beers would you recommend this?
5.
5?
5.
It's a solid 5.
5.
And is it something that you can enjoy as an adult, or should you wait to watch it when you have maybe a young one looking at?
Adult.
Okay.
If you love Disney movies, I mean, anybody that grew up with that movie, it's just like Lion King. They're making a live-action Lion King movie.
What? So there's gonna be lions? They're gonna train lions, or they're gonna be
It's
CGI?
gonna be CGI.
Like a shit. It's not live action. It's just a shit ton of CGI. Because
It's just not cartoon. It's
there's
just,
not a single fucking human being in that movie.
I mean, it'll just be like Smaug. I mean, he's just like a live-action.
Okay, I guess
Not
so.
a cartoon dragon. He's like a CGI, which looks more realistic.
No.
I'll go see it. I really hope, because a lot of the people that did those voices in Lion King, well, the guy who's going to play Simba is Miles, what's his face from, he's going to be in, we talked about him as a Spider-Man. We wanted him to...
Oh, the guy from... Yes, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah,
It's the guy from... What show is it?
That show that's on NBC.
Yeah,
Not Parks and Rec, the other one that's like that.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, he's gonna be Simba. I really hope that they put Jeremy Irons in there again as Scar. That would be really cool. Yeah, but that would be so cool to have Jeremy Irons in there.
I don't like it.
All right, well, I think that's it.
I think I got a question for you.
Okay.
Is cereal a soup?
Well, I don't know. It depends if you eat cereal with a liquid. If you don't eat it with a liquid, then it's not a soup.
A bowl of cereal with milk and Cheerios. Is it a soup?
But I don't drink milk, so...
But I'm asking you, is it or is it not? I'm not saying if you partake in it.
It wouldn't be constituted as a soup.
So what's a soup?
A soup would be something that you actually have to make and cook. You don't cook cereal.
You can make a soup with...
It's probably going to be disgusting, just like milk.
So you say now. All right, there we have it.
That's a solid... Good job this week. All right, everyone. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter.
And email us at twoordinarynerds@gmail.com.
We're also on YouTube.
YouTube?
Cheers.
Cheers.